Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. I'm being joined by the one and only Chief Bunky. Shout out to everybody on the Leave It in the Ring network. This is the 31st, fourth edition of Hispanics Causing Panic. If you're listening on archive, take a moment to press the like button and show support to the channel. We'll be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly of the boxing weekend. All right. Shout out to Blood Boxing with that Salvador Sanchez documentary. So make sure you guys do check that out, retro boxing and documentaries. What's next for Inoue, for Tank, and Prograis? Mayor and Esparza, big win in the women's ranks. Munguia, what's next for him now? And will Usyk win a world title in the heavyweight division? Gamboa versus Haney this weekend. Aren't we excited for that one? Luis Ortiz back in action since his KO loss to Deontay Wilder last year. Make sure you tune in to Uncensored tomorrow. That should be a great show. That'll be on Chief Bunky's channel. The dumpster juice of the week and so much more. We'll be back after this.
Salvador Sanchez, Chava, was not only born to fight, but also destined for greatness. From Santiago, Tangistenco, Mexico, a pueblo that still has Aztec Empire culture instilled in it. It's about an hour from the historic city of Tenochtitlan, current-day Mexico City. Salvador Sanchez was a reincarnation of an Aztec warrior, built for tribal wars of hand-to-hand combat. Salvador Sanchez was a gift from the boxing gods, but one that they selfishly wished to only share for so long.
Sanchez would turn pro at the young age of 16. The year was 1975. Salvador's parents was not happy about their son's decision to turn pro. They were also not happy about Salvador's decision to drop out of school. Sanchez was 16 when he dropped out of school. One of the reasons Sanchez was in a rush to turn pro was to help his family, and eventually his parents would support his decision to turn pro. Later, they would enjoy his successes in the ring. His mother taped a cross inside of his shoes made from a palm branch. She would do this before every one of his fights. This had to do with his mother's religious beliefs.
Shout out to everybody. Man, I am pumped right now, Chief Funky. You know what I mean? What's going on, G? How's it going?
It's going well, man. Having a bad day a little bit with the allergies here in my city. But it's all good. You know, just got to stay inside. But, hey, guys, make sure you guys watch that Salvador Sanchez documentary. Whew, that thing is good, man. Shout out to Retro Boxing, also known as Blood Boxing. I'm about 2 hours in now. I'll probably watch the rest tonight, but it's definitely good stuff, man.
That's right, man. Make sure, again, Retro Boxing and Documentaries, make sure you subscribe and you check out that documentary. Great stuff. You'll probably have to watch it in parts. 3.5 hours long, but 3.5 of great editing and great work and very accurate information, things that you never heard of before, from newspaper articles, magazines. Yeah, I mean, you would have to do a lot of research. You cannot just Google a lot of this stuff. You got to watch that documentary, man. Great stuff. Kind of local sports on here. The king of Puerto Rican boxing talk here on YouTube. Make sure you check him out, man. Chicano Prophet, what's good? Sonteo, I'm an hour to Salvador Sanchez documentary. That is some great stuff. Make sure you check that out. World Combat Sports is salute and shout out. How's it going to you, man? Jay Lee, salute to Cano Loco. Absolutely. We got Bruce Goes on here. We got Paul on here. Says, I'm going to watch the documentary tonight. Been looking forward to this one in a while. Make sure you do that. Absolutely. DJ Mexicano de Tejas. We got Mr. Boxing Today, too, the king of heavyweight boxing talk here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. Cristiano NWO Blood's promos are so hype. Absolutely. Plus, I'm in the promos. So, of course, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But hey, check it out, man. Check this out. First of all, Chief Funky, I know you touched on it, man, but let me tell you, man, great work in the documentary. Some of the music in there, I kind of helped Blood with that. I mean, he incorporated that into the documentary. There's some of my voiceover on there. So, and I'm glad that Blood asked me, and honored that he asked me to participate in that. But make no mistake about it, 99% of the work in a documentary is from Blood. You know what I mean? He put the effort. He deserves 100% of the credit. Us that just helped him, we did it for Salvador Sanchez, and to help Blood out. But he's definitely the one that made that happen. Okay, and I just wanted to say that. I think that is one hell of a thing. And for those that, if you got anything, man, I mean, it's his PayPal, Blood Boxing, give him a donation. It all adds up for that time and effort that he put towards that documentary. Again, that's Retro Boxing and Documentaries. What you think so far, Chief Funky? What you heard in that documentary so far?
Really good stuff, man. And like you said, a lot of newspaper articles and things like that he refers to. Shows a lot of clips of his fights, and I like how he showed the development of Sanchez throughout the 70s, mid 70s to the late 70s into the early 80s when he was starting to they were starting to show him on ABC Wide World of Sports and things like that. Just great stuff, man. I mean, not only that, but he's got a lot of other documentaries. He's got one on Pernell Whitaker. He's got a bunch of them on heavyweights from back in the day. So you guys really, if you're not subscribed to him, you got to do it, man. There's a lot of good stuff over there.
Absolutely. LT says, saludos, mi raza. How's it going, man? Cristiano Real Blood's promos are so hype. Absolutely, they are. Make sure you guys throw a jab at my like button. Share this video on all your social media platforms. We're definitely glad and, to have you guys on for sure. All right. And right now, man, Chief Funky, let's get this started, bro. The good, the bad, and the ugly of the weekend. What's your good? What's your bad? What's your ugly? Give it to us unfiltered. Let's go.
Well, I'd have to say the good was Gervonta Davis's knockout. Good knockout there. Could be knockout of the year. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. The bad, I mean, I would have to say for me, as far as like just sticking with the fights, would probably be that that DAZN card over there in England. That thing was like an eternity long. I mean, jeez, I was waiting forever to see that main event. So I would have to say that would be my bad. And the ugly, I would have to say would be Tureano Johnson's lip. That was ugly as can be. I don't ever recall seeing a lip get split open that way. Hopefully, they were able to do some surgery on that and get it put back together. But man, that was ugly.
Oh yes. Great stuff. And yes, the DAZN card, the undercard did seem to be lingering on for sure. And so I do agree with you with that. Man and Water, this should be a presidential coverage stream. No, we're good. Like that's gonna be on all night.
Hey,
you got break from that
yeah.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that shit. That shit's probably gonna be on for weeks, depending on how controversial and close it is. But that's whatever. You know what I mean? Let's take a break from that shit right now. You know what I mean? Look, man, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this boxing weekend. The good, it's not that I disagree with you, but I'm going to kind of go a little more broader with it. I think the multiple stoppages from the Prograis getting a stoppage, and all these different Mario Barrios finishing his fight by dramatic stoppage and blooding up his opponent, and a lot of knockouts, a lot of stoppages. That leaves us less room for controversy, less room to leave it up to the judges' hands. And that's always a good thing. Knockouts spare us having to deal with the judges. So that's what I'll say about that. Man of Waters is a little excited. Not gonna lie. I know he's talking about the presidential coverage. So I'm gonna pretend he's talking about HCP. You know what I mean? With that said, because I promise you guys, no matter who wins the election, HCP's gonna be here next week. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're still gonna be here tomorrow, the day after that, regardless of who wins. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you guys know right now. I don't care if if the Green Party shows up and wins. You know what I mean? It don't matter. All right. Now, the bad is the accusation of Breland. That's the bad. Breland being accused of spiking the water of Deontay Wilder with what he believes is, which tells me he doesn't know, is a muscle relaxer. I took my liberty to kind of check out Breland's Facebook page, and I mean, I'm seeing all these videos of him working with kids, and I've seen interviews of him. He's such like a humble guy, and it's to be accused of something like that. Like if he did something like that, I would be completely shocked, and I just can't believe he was accused of that. I just gotta keep it 100. To me, that's the bad of the week. The ugly of the week. This could be interpreted in many ways, but it was the way Leo looked when he was knocked out. Okay, Leo, for a second or two, I was wondering if he's going to be okay. And we kind of always feel that way when a guy gets knocked out, but in this case, the way he fell, I mean, like a heap, like his body, like an avatar being shut down. Him just falling the way he did. Because I agree with you, that knockout is something that, we're oxymoronic in this way as boxing fans. We call things beautiful that regular people wouldn't call beautiful, but it was a beautiful knockout. You know what I mean? And brutality is something we call beautiful in the sport of boxing. But I was a little worried about Leo, and I was there like with everybody else, including Tank Davis, clapping when he got up because I was glad he was okay. And I'm glad Leo's all right. But the way Leo looked when he fell down, the way he fell down, I mean, G Funky, if he was any closer to the ropes, he may have fallen through the ropes and fallen outside of the ring, and that would have been even uglier. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is that. And a little bit of breaking news here. So Burchell has COVID. Talk to us, Chief Funky. What's going on over here? What do you mean he has COVID? This is the luckiest motherfucker on earth, bro. What's going on over here?
Let me tell you, man. Burchell, he went out there and got COVID on purpose, man. He didn't want that smoke. No, I'm just kidding, man. That's terrible news. Terrible news. Wow. Because here on HCP, we had a split. I was rolling with Valdez. D-Style was rolling with Burchell. And, man, I don't even know. I mean, I don't know if the fight's going to happen now or what.
COVID? Didn't another fighter have COVID? Povetkin has COVID. God damn, bro.
COVID's kicking ass again, man. It's that time of year, man.
My Povetkin, we need you to land that uppercut on COVID, just like you did on Dillian White. You know what I mean?
I think he's actually. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I think he's actually not doing well. He's in the hospital. So.
Damn, bro.
Man,
what the hell is going on? COVID's like, yo, I want some of this smoke. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, yo, what do you mean he's hospitalized, bro? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. It seems to affect everybody different, Some people get it and they're, they recover. Some people, right away they got to go into the hospital, and it's a scary thing, man. I'm not trying to see it at all,
Yeah, man, I agree with you with that, man. So, hey, in all seriousness, I hope Burchell and Povetkin recover from that, man. Like it depending on the strain, the what strain you get of it, it could be bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just depends which COVID you got. Like there's different COVIDs now. You know what I mean? It's like those boxers. Did you get the one that came in shape or the one that came out of shape? So it just depends which one you get. And but I hope they're all right. Okay. Wow. So hey, COVID strikes again, and Chief Funky fell out. I don't know what happened. So Chief Funky come back in. So there's that. It's going to be a good HCP grudge match. Yes, it was going to be there was some internal infighting with HCP regarding that. Some internal infighting, hey, I'm just saying. All right. By the way, this is Batman theme month. All right. So a lot of Batman art this month that we're going to have for HCP. Is it going to be a November to remember? I'm not sure, but we're going to definitely find out. All right. Hey, Chief Funky, did you get a chance to check out the Inoue fight, and what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of it live. It was kind of hard though because both cards were the main event was at the same time, man.
Well, once Leo Tank started, I went back to watch it, and after 3 rounds, I was done watching that fight. So
yeah, I could not take my eyes off of that fight. I had 2 TVs on top of each other. I had the Tank Davis Santa Cruz fight on top and the Inoue fight on the bottom, and I couldn't sit down and watch that whole thing. But I mean, Inoue looked good, man. I did make a little bit of money this weekend. You guys know I dropped money on Leo, lost that bet there, but I did take the over on the rounds with Maloney, and he came through. Lasted long enough to get me some money there, so I broke even this weekend, so it's all good. But yeah, I thought Inoue looked pretty good. I expected him to beat this guy pretty soundly, and that's what he did. So looks like he made a pretty good debut. I don't know how many people were watching due to the other fight being on, but hopefully a good audience was over there as well, so that they could get Inoue rolling and get him in there with a couple of good opponents here soon.
Definitely. Well, I gotta say, G-Funk, he just beat one of the very best in his division. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few guys I would like to see him fight besides a Maloney, but yeah, he did beat a good fighter.
Hey, Jaylee, I appreciate the support, man. It says respect, always good content. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate anybody's contribution to HCP. Help support channel, the content, all that good stuff. I gotta say here that I gotta be honest, bro. This is one of Inoue's best performances, and he showed me a lot in this fight, and I think it's because he respected Maloney a little bit in a good way. Maloney, for those that don't know, has a very high KO percentage. He's a big puncher for that division, so Inoue knew he had to pick his spots, but he fights better when he picks his spots. He should fight like this more often. And his counters were beautiful, man. He was making Maloney miss by a couple inches and countering him. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. I have to be honest, this is one of the most impressive fights I've seen from him. I'm more impressed by this than him just icing to do it out in the first 20 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just because he has to show us a little more. I was more impressed by this performance than the Donaire performance. And look, the winner of Ubali and Donaire definitely put him in the ring with Inoue. I think that's a fight to make. I think Donaire has proven he deserves another crack at it. Why not? There's that danger there. We know he lands he broke the orbital bone. He can hurt Inoue. And Ubali, I mean, he beat Inoue's brother. He wants to slay the double dragon. So if he beats Donaire, why the hell not? So looking at those weight class, I mean, there's people saying he should move up. I mean, look, Inoue started at 108. It's not fair to say that he needs to move up. You know what I mean? He has definitely, there's guys at 115 that can move up to fight him. You know what I mean? So he has options for sure. Who do you want to see him go up against next, Chief Funky?
Definitely the winner of Donaire and the French guy. I can't say the guy's name, but I think that would be a good fight. People have been saying Rigo. I wouldn't mind seeing Rigo get one last crack at somebody at the top. I mean, we got to remember this guy. He's only lost once. He's never been like beat up, stopped, or anything like that. So, I would love to see Rigo get a shot at him. And there's another guy. I forget the guy's name. But there's another guy they're talking about. They might throw him in there with. But I mean, yeah, there's some good options there for him, and he did look good Saturday night.
Yeah, he did. By the way, I gotta say, I still don't think he's number 2 pound for pound or something like that, but he's working his way up there. He really is. Okay, and I know there's people that already are sold on him 100%. I'm sold on him in the terms that I know he's a really good fighter. Right? I've already known that. Okay, I don't think anyone here has said otherwise. We're just saying that he is vulnerable in some departments, but in this fight, if I see more of this Inoue, man, that's a tough Inoue to beat. Okay, and I don't know G Funky, but I think Neri's done with 118. He's missed weight way too many times. But if he could, if he promises to us, if he says, "Yo prometo," and there's a sign of the cross, and he promises to God that he will make 118, you think that's a fight they should explore?
Definitely. Don't know if that will happen. Especially with the smaller guys. I mean, it's got to be something big in order for these kind of, promotional guys to want to make a fight. I mean, we seen earlier this year Wilder Fury. We had Top Rank and PBC, but that's a huge fight. That it kind of makes sense for them to do that fight because they would know they're going to make a lot of money. Don't know if they think about it the same way with Inoue and Neri, but as for the hardcores like us, you damn right I want to see it. I think it's a good fight, and I don't think Neri can make 118 anymore. So 122 should be, where he should be fighting from here on out. I would be concerned for him if he decides to go down to 118 to fight Inoue.
Right.
But we'll see what happens, man. I know Inoue's already moved up a lot of weight classes, so it's really up to him whether he wants to keep moving up or not. We'll see, man. But that's a hell of a fight, man. I hope that these guys can get it done, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get these fights done. Do you think any of these other guys like Chocolatito, Estrada can move up to fight him?
I don't know about Chocolatito.
I think he'll get iced by Inoue. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good fight for him right now. El Gallo, that's a tough one. I mean, he could move up and fight him at 118, but it's a tough fight for him as well. Tough fight.
El Gallo moves up and beats Inoue, bro.
Whoa, that's big.
Hey, let me tell you something. You could retire with that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think he's gonna. I mean, he has some unfinished business with Chocolatito. He needs to avenge that loss. You know what I mean? Once he does that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'll just say I was reading earlier that I heard that the WBC is ordering him to fight Sorang V-Side again. So we might not even see him fight Chocolatito next year. I mean, it might be Sorang V-Side first. I mean, it's as ridiculous as it sounds.
They're always finding a way to fuck shit up, huh?
Always, man.
You know what I mean? Have you guys noticed that they always find a way to just fuck shit up? You know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason. Black and Brown, how's it going? He says, much respect to everyone in the chat. He says, what's up, my boys? How's it going, man? It's a HCP fire. D Hodges on here. What up, D Style? And a chat. LWC salute family, he says. How's it going? Boxing Dialogue. Chocolatito's way too small for 118. Yeah, you're probably right. But is Inoue that big of a guy, though? Inoue started 108. I'm saying, but nonetheless, I do feel that Inoue would probably knock him out. I think he would ice him. All right. The Sweet Science Examiner says, always, how's it going, man? How you doing? All right. Check it out, guys. Make sure, again, subscribe to Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Check out the Salvador Sanchez documentary. Hell, check it out after HCP. You know what I mean?
Great stuff there, man.
Yeah. Make sure you check that out for sure. Share this video. Make sure you jab the like button and all that good stuff. Hey, check it out, man. Tank Davis, obviously. Talk to us about the fight, man. Tank Davis, Leo Santa Cruz.
Well, first thing I want to say is this to our subscribers and listeners out there. You guys all know that I picked Santa Cruz to win this fight. And obviously I was wrong about that. So you guys can go ahead and give me my crow. You know, I'll feast on it. Got no problem doing that. But I want to say this, man. I think it was a hell of a fight, man. For being 6 rounds, I really enjoyed that fight. Thought it was very entertaining. You know, early on, Leo did some things that, you know, I knew he could do. I knew he was going to be able to go in there and land some combinations. You know, try to outwork Tank, try to take him to the late rounds. But Tank did a good job of, you know, not engaging in a lot of exchanges early. I think he picked his spots very well. Went downstairs to the body well, and I think they knew that Leo was trying to get him to throw more punches, work more early in the fight, so that by the time the fight went into the second half of the fight, Leo could kind of turn it up and see if he does have that gas tank, you know, to go a hard 12 rounds. And that was the game plan. You could see, I mean, you heard Santa Cruz's corner tell him going into that 6th round, they said, you know, let's start to pick it up, Leo. He's going to start getting tired. So in the second half of the fight, we're going to take over, you know? And I think that's what happened in that 6th round. Leo was not as active as Leo normally is in the first 5 rounds of his fights in the past. That 6th round, he came out and started to let his hands go a little bit more. And you could start to see Tank landing more and more big shots in that round. And that's what happens, man. When you go out there and you decide to let your hands go, you always at risk of getting hit with something in between. You know, that's always I don't give a shit who you are. You're gonna get hit anytime you can't defend and punch at the same time. It's impossible, man. Even guys, and I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying here, but even a guy like Floyd Mayweather, the only times that I've ever seen Floyd Mayweather hurt in a fight was when somebody caught him while he was in the middle of something. Like we could go back all the way to Chop Chop Corley. They were in the middle of an exchange and he got hit with a big shot. He got hurt. Shane Mosley, same thing with him. You know, Zab Judah, same thing. These guys were able to catch him in between some shots and he got hit and he got hurt, you know. And that goes for anybody. Leo Santa Cruz is no exception. He got blazed with a beautiful left uppercut. You guys see it right there on the screen. And it was good night, Irene, for Leo Santa Cruz. Credit to Tank Davis for the win. I'm not going to be one of those guys that, you know, been seeing a lot of things around here. I'm going to give Tank credit for the win. And, you know, it's unfortunate for Leo. He fought a good fight, but he just got caught and he couldn't take the shot. So, you know, all credit to Gervonta Tank Davis. And I want to say this too before I pass it over to D-Style. I like the way that both of these guys came into the fight and the way that they handled themselves after the fight. I think it was very professional. Not a lot of trash talk. And, you know, I don't always need that. I know a lot of us like that. And don't get me wrong, I like that too. But I don't always need it to be about just trash talk and things like that before the fight. I think both guys made it very clear. They say, look, man, I'm here to win. I train my ass off. You know, I got a lot of respect for my opponent. And, you know, may the best man win. And even after the fight, you know, Tank Davis tweeted out, he said, look, I hope you're okay. Or no, he said, I'm glad you're okay. And, you know, I'm glad to have shared the ring with you. I'm forever grateful. Leo, you know, he's been nothing but a sportsman in defeat. You know, he said, hey, man, look, Tank Davis caught me with a good shot, knocked me out, you know, credit to him. And that's that, you know. I love seeing that in the sport, man. I really do. So credit to both guys for that. But all credit to Tank Davis for the win. Great knockout.
Hey, great knockout for sure, man. I mean, I think, in my opinion, man, Tank looks really good. Like, you know what I mean? I think, you know, if anything, you know, I got to say Tank looked really good in this fight. Let me talk about this fight. And I need to kind of do this because I feel like a lot of people, Chief Funky, it's just my opinion, like they dumb the fuck out of the sport. You know what I mean? Like there's people out there that simplify shit. They make it seem so much easier or so much simpler than what it really is, you know? And I'm hearing things like, he could have knocked him out in the first round, but he wanted to carry Leo, and I'm hearing all this dumb shit. Like, dude, like you're out of your mind, okay?
That's not true at
Honestly,
all. Yeah.
that's not true at all, okay? He was in a fight. He got pieced up with a 4-punch combination in this fight. All right,
Hmm.
Leo was piecing. I know you motherfuckers were sweating. Okay, I know it. Okay, but you're supposed to sweat it in boxing. Fights are supposed to be competitive. You know what I mean? I believe what happened here. I think there's different ways to beat a puncher. Okay, Tank's never been defeated, so people are going to have to take risk and try certain things to see if that'll make Tank crack or if that'll defeat him. Right? Leo Santa Cruz was like, you know what? I'm going to, get this guy on his back foot. I'm going to put punches together here. And that's what he did. And he had Tank Davis on his back foot. I gave him some rounds in his fight. He was landing combinations on Tank. And he was also making Tank miss wide at times. There was a point where Tank was close to the ropes. He threw a combination while he got jabbed in the face. All right? Leo was timing him when he was going to start the combination, and boom, put that jab in his face. He did it several times. So what Tank realized, and where I give him credit, is he realized right away, you know what? I'm not just going to land the punch. I need to set it up. Okay? That's what Tank realized right away in this fight. I'm not just going to I'm not just going to throw this uppercut and land it. I need to set Leo up for it because he was missing a lot of punches early, right? Landing some, it's a fight. Breaking news, you get hit in boxing, okay? Leo was going hard to the body, and what I liked the Tank started doing, he started going to the body as well, right? He didn't just start headhunting when Leo was going to the body. He's like, you know what? I'm going to hit you to the body too. And I'm going to go hard to the body, right? I'm going to drop that shoulder, bam, hit you as hard as I can with it, right? That's what he was doing. And what that helped set up in many ways was because he was throwing harder shots to the body than he was upstairs. And I thought that was genius, okay? Because when he would hit Leo upstairs, I believe, and Chicano talked about it, he put him in a false insecurity. Leo thought to himself, hey, I could take these shots. There was other times where he did land the uppercut, right? And Leo said, this ain't so bad, right? And he started landing shots on Tank. Started piecing him up at times. So what started happening around the middle of the 5th round, he starts putting pressure on Leo, right? Especially in the beginning of the 6th round. He starts coming forward and he gets Leo on his back foot. That was big. 30 seconds before the end of that round, he lands a beautiful 45 from that angle on Leo, which he hadn't really thrown for that entire fight. He hurts Leo. Leo goes back to the ropes. He throws a right hand. He lands it on Tank. All right? The mistake, in my opinion, was Leo should have utilized the jab and see if there was an opening and then throw the right hand. But what happened? He lands the right and he goes for the right again. It gets blocked the second time. And he's thinking because of the angle that he's going to throw the body shot, and him dropping his guard to block the body shot, he gets clipped upstairs with that beautiful uppercut. Okay, if Tank didn't work the body like that, okay, early, if he wasn't hurting Leo to the body, if he doesn't set that up, that never happens. Okay, not just like that. You're not going to wind from down here to the waist area and land the shot unless your opponent believes it's going to go elsewhere. Because in boxing, you don't throw where your opponent is. You're going to throw where your opponent's going to be. Tank knew, and this was smart. Tank knew he's going to be in this position because he's blocking the body shot. And that's where Tank went ahead and landed that beautiful uppercut. All right. That was 100% power. That was devastating. And look, he landed other big power shots in that fight. And what people need to understand, when the switch goes off, it's very unpredictable. You know what I mean? It's very unpredictable. But I think Leo was already hurt by that 45 about 30 seconds before that round. And that's why he was against the ropes. That's why he was encircling away, G-Funky. Like, I think the smart thing to have done was to circle away from there, but I don't think Leo had his feet 100% under him. So he was kind of using the ropes to kind of know where he's at. And I believe it was a mistake, but hey, he landed that first right hand, and he was landing it several times throughout the fight, and I think he felt comfortable throwing it. And it was a mistake, and a mistake that he paid for. But I have to tell you, a lot of people are dumbing down this whole fight. They were like, why didn't Tank just throw that uppercut from the beginning? He could have just knocked him out in the first round. Well, maybe because Tank is smarter than you guys, and he understands he's going to use it at the right time, right? Because if Tank misses that uppercut, G-Funky, the way he threw it, he's off balance, and he could get countered with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to know that it's going to land in order to throw it, right? Very important. All right. Now, what I want to ask you, G-Funky, is this. Right now, Gary Russell Jr., right, came out in his vehicle, and he's like, Shotty, hey, Shotty, that's all you got, power, Shotty? You need more than power against me, Shotty, and all that good stuff, right? The 5'2" dude is calling Tank shorty. That's number one. But number two, all right, do you believe that Gary Russell really wants that smoke against Tank Davis? And if he does he have a chance against Tank Davis at 130 pounds?
I mean, Russell's got a history of doing this, and nothing comes of it. Now, I'll give him a pass with Crawford because that's just way out there, for that fight to happen. That's outer space shit, The Haney thing, now again, you guys know I don't like to get involved in the politics of the sport. I like to talk about fights that are actually going to happen, So I don't even know what happened with the negotiations there. And quite frankly, I don't care. All I know is that, again, he calls somebody out and the fight doesn't happen.
Right.
Now he's calling out Tank off of the best performance of his career. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say Russell will take a fight against anybody that's decent. I mean, you can say, well, he fought Lomachenko, yeah, but Lomachenko, that was his fourth fight or something like that, third or fourth fight. So, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot on Lomachenko other than he was a great amateur at that time,
Right.
I'm going to lean more towards no. I don't think he really wants to fight him. Maybe he'll surprise me and we'll get something done here. Do I think he has a chance? Absolutely, I do. I think if a guy like Leo Santa Cruz could go in there and land some shots, not only shots but combinations. And I mean, look at Tank's face. I mean, people said that Leo can't hit hard, but I mean, we see the evidence on Tank's face. He's getting swole up. I mean, he had a little mouse forming under that right eye. I mean, we can see it right here in the picture. A guy with good hand speed, like Gary Russell, and some good leg movement could make a competitive fight with Tank. Now I know everybody's on the high because we've seen the knockout, and people thinking that he's the hardest puncher in the world. Obviously he's got power. We know that. But again, I'm going to say this. We don't know if this guy has a gas tank yet to go a hard 12 with somebody. And it's not crazy to think that. I mean, I've heard some people saying like, oh, they're stupid for trying to think that he's going to gas out. Like, we don't know if he can go a hard 12 yet. We haven't seen it. I mean, the longest we've seen him go was into the 12th round with Gamboa, and that fight ended in the 12th round. But that wasn't a hard 12 rounds like somebody who can hang in there with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Leo was able to take this uppercut and continue and keep pushing and go 12 rounds, we don't know what could have happened. Because Leo was going to continue to throw punches. Leo was going to continue to do things in there to make him work. So it's not crazy to think that, not to mention he's had problem making weight. So, I mean, the evidence is there to say, look, we don't know. So that's another thing too. If Russell can box, make him fight hard for 12 rounds, we don't know how Tank will respond to that. So it's a good fight, man. But I'm still not sold on Russell. He might be selling wolf tickets like he always does here,
Look, I'm sold on Russell in terms of him being a good fighter. I'm just not sold if he really wants these fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's. I think he had an excellent opportunity to make that Haney fight. All right, and I don't know. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Right now, man, I want to give a shout out to Diego Magdaleno. I mean, he got sparked, bro. You know what I mean? He got sparked by Cruz, and he got sparked bad. I mean, he got taken out of there. I think I think he just got caught cold. I'm not saying he would have won otherwise, but I think that's what it is, and it could happen. You get caught cold early, and you're out. And well, what do you think's next for Diego, man? And you think he's still
Well,
gonna make something out of this, or you think he's gonna retire? I don't know. Like,
I agree with you. I think he did get caught cold, and Cruz jumped on him. I mean, immediately
good.
jumped on him, pinned him against the ropes, throwing hard shots, wanted to test his chin. It looked like Magdaleno was going to be okay because he took a couple of hard shots, landed one of his own against the ropes, then gets hit with another shot and goes down, and then he gets pinned against the ropes again, gets hit with a couple more big shots, and then that was it. He was done. That's a part of being prepared. You got to make sure that you're nice and warmed up. Get out there into the ring. You get caught cold. We've seen it happen to a lot of fighters. They come out cold, their body's all dry, they don't have a sweat going. They get hit with something early, they get hurt, get knocked down, whatever, but that does happen in boxing where guys get caught cold, and I don't want to make excuses for him. He lost the fight.
Right.
But I still want to see if he's got something left, I really do. So I wish him nothing but the best. He's a friend of the show. He's been on here. So, good luck in the future, Diego.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just wanted to give him a shout out. Let's talk about the ladies really quick before the other fights. Mayer gets a win. Kind of went like I expected against this Bernica girl. So that's that. But what do you think of her performance? You learn anything new about Mayer, and do you feel any different about a fight with Harper, G Funky?
Yeah, it went pretty typical of what I thought was going to happen. And no, she just seemed the same to me. I personally don't think she has enough power in her shots to keep Harper off her, man. So I'm sticking with my pick. If that fight gets done, I'm going with Terry Harper. I just think she's just really tough, and I think she has more power than Mayer does. And I don't think she'll be able to keep her off, man. That's what I think.
Another fight, and I agree with you. I think as far as not really learning anything new from Mikaela Mayer, I mean, she's going to have to, at some point, it's going to catch up to her that she's not displaying anything that makes somebody think twice. I think she has superior footwork than a lot of the girls she's fought so far. But what's going to happen with somebody that could kind of keep up with you and is able to match you, as far as boxing skills and hit harder than you, that's going to catch up to her, in my opinion. So we're going to see how that goes. So, hey, what do you think of her fighting Pursuin, the girl that moved up to fight Katie Taylor?
I think that's another bad fight. I do.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. Okay. World Combat Sports says Diego is my dog. He didn't have any words for the stoppage. He overwhelmed him to the body, but I didn't understand why Diego didn't exit out that corner. I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes I guess when guys are hurt, which I think he was, he got blitzed, and even though a lot of times guys come out, and it's almost like a silent agreement. Hey, it's a warm up round. But then when guys just blitz you, you know what I mean? You still got to be ready for that. That's why it's not. He did look a little dry too to the ring. I know hindsight's 2020, but he didn't look that well warmed up to me. I think he got blitzed. He didn't expect it, and he got iced. And I think Cruz is that guy that's going to come out and bring it that way. And I did see him in interviews and everything saying that he was ready for him and all that, but I don't know what happened. I think, for a guy like Cruz, run those drills, have multiple guys, just blitz you. in sparring, and to just keep doing those drills so you could anticipate that. Okay. Yes, you want to fill your opponent out and all that, but you have to be ready for the blitz if it happens. Okay. Because guess what? If Cruz exhausts all that energy, G Funky, and Diego gets out of that round, he might be tired after a couple rounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's your objective should be, let's get out of this round. Let him exert all this energy. Don't like. I think he was throwing back when he shouldn't have. I don't know if it was instinct. I don't know if he was all there, but shout out to Diego Magdaleno, man. Tank and HCP matching cutters is Taco Bernstein. Yes, we are. Christian NWO says Mayweather turning Tank into the cash cow, no doubt. Well, I mean, we got to see what the numbers are going to do, but there's one thing that is true, is that boxing was trending and trending very, very high. The Sweet Science Examiner says what we do know is that Tank Davis' punching power carries through all 12 rounds. So whether or not he open up to the first round, 6th round, or the 12th round, one puncher, Gervonta can change that. And you know what? He is a puncher, and that's the truth of punchers in general. All right. But the question is, in the Gamboa fight, he wasn't really pushed like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to see it, is all I'm saying. I'm guessing he'll be able to do it, but I don't know. You know what I mean? We have to see it.
Yeah. Gamboa is a guy who's chinny. I mean, let's keep in mind, Gamboa, again, he was already down 14 times in his career going into that fight with Davis, before Davis knocked him down the 3 times in their fight. So we're talking about a guy who's very chinny. You know, I don't know if those shots would affect somebody else the way that they affected Gamboa late in the fight. I agree. Yes, punchers usually do carry their punch, you know, throughout the whole fight, but we still haven't seen that yet from him. So
also,
I mean, I agree, but not fully, you know.
I mean, look, I mean, he did knock out a guy with a better chin than Gamboa just this fight, right? So we do have to acknowledge that. But as far as, you know, the punch output, his windows of, we don't know if his windows of opportunity are going to be shrinking as the fight progresses. Yes, will the opportunity still be there? Yes, but if you look at all punchers, okay, the percentage of the knockout decreases as the fight progresses, and I do believe, if we go by boxing history, that that's going to be the same with Tank. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see, like, look at all Tank stoppages. I guarantee you, a majority of them are in the earlier rounds. You know what I mean? So we do need to understand that as exhaustion kicks in and all that, the windows of opportunity to land those KOs while still there will drop. We just don't know how much it will drop. If he's in a tough fight for 10 straight rounds, how likely is it that he's going to land a big shot in the 11th? Not saying it's not there. It's just going to be a smaller percentage. You know what I mean? So that's just the way I feel about that. Moving on to this fight, Sulem. We had her on the show. I was pulling for her, but I did think Esparza would win. I did feel her footwork would work. The right hook to the body, and then followed by a left hook upstairs, I think played great dividends for Esparza, you know, and Sulem would drop her guard almost every time that Esparza went to the body, and Esparza took advantage of that. Most people had it closer than I did. I only gave Sulem 3 rounds, but I did have like some other rounds kind of close. It was just 10 rounds. But Chief Funky, how did you see that fight?
Yeah, I was rooting for Sulem as well, friend of the show. You know, I was hoping she would pull that one out. Unfortunately for her, she comes up short in that one. I think, you know, her abandoning the jab was something that I think really backfired on her in this fight. I mean, you got a fighter in front of you that's moving around the way that Esparza was. It's always good to at least use a jab, you know, and try to get in there, give her something to look at first before she just loading. I noticed she was loading up a lot on just lead right hands. Esparza was seeing them, she was bending down, but then started to throw left hooks, and some of those were landing as she was ducking away from the right hand. But I think it would have been better to set things up with the jab first. You know, I think that's really the main thing. But that's an easy fix for her. You know, study the film and you know, work on that. But I do think it was a competitive fight. I mean, those women fights, they're just so hard to score. The rounds are so short, and
Right.
it's just you know, it's really hard. They let their hands go so much, and really hard to score. But I did give Sulem 3 rounds, and I gave 5 to Esparza. So yeah, get back in the gym, Sulem, work on some things, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sulem will be back, man. But I gotta say, man, given the fact that there's not a lot of depth in the women's divisions, like I'm kind of surprised they put her in this high-profile fight against arguably, definitely a top two in the division as far as when it's not even for a title. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of surprised. I mean, this is for eliminator, so this is a really tough fight to take. It wasn't even for a title. I mean, hey, so props to them, for going out there and putting it all on the line for sure. All right, and the sweet science guy said, "I got it. You agree, but not fully. Okay, no Paul says that's a diva talk taco. Wow. Okay, they're going at it or what? But wheelchair man Johnson, the kill was the number one trending video on YouTube. It was, and we're gonna get to the trending a little bit, but as far as that goes, man, great stuff for him. Prograis. But before we get to Prograis, G Funky, we all know that all roads to undisputed at 140 go through Mario Barrios, right? Like
Mario Barrios, yeah.
he's a regular champ. Okay, he's not a good champ. He's a regular one. You know what I mean? Whatever that means, WBA. But nonetheless, he fought the cowboy. You know what I mean? And I gotta tell you, man. Look, I love watching Mario Barrios fight. His fights are exciting as shit. So there's nothing against Mario Barrios. It really isn't. Okay, I'm happy for the kid, but I don't think he's hit his stride yet, G Funky. I think he could tweak some more stuff and he could be a beast in that division. I just don't think he's quite there yet. I still think he's being built up, and I understand it, but he has a belt. And I understand it's a regular belt. But how long can they keep the sub, G Funky? Like, did they give him a belt too soon? Because my answer is yes. I think they give him a belt too soon.
Yeah, I agree. And I do agree. All roads to undisputed lead to Mario Barrios. All right.
Right.
This is not a knock on the kid. I think he's a good fighter. Nothing against him personally. I think he's a good fighter, but I mean, is he up there at the top? I don't know. I just don't know yet. The jury's still out on the kid. From what I've seen so far, the eye test looks good. But again, those things have to be proven against good competition, or at least equal competition to what he is, or better competition. So
it's got a lot, bro. But.
Yeah, and I'm still on the fence about him. But I like him, and I need to see him in there against some good competition before, I say anything about. In all seriousness, all roads leading through him. I need to see him in there against somebody legit first. So, cowboy, tough guy, not very skilled, but it is what it is.
So let's talk about that, because Prograis was in the same card. Okay, I think. Look, man, a lot going through Prograis' mind, dude. His wife's in labor, like while he's fighting, and all that good stuff, and so I'm sure a lot was going through his mind when that was happening, right? But I don't know who's going to like this or not. And I understand that he stopped his opponent, but he didn't look so good. Like you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the best I've seen Prograis. And I don't even know if he put that much effort into it, in fairness, but I'm used to watching a much better Prograis than that. All right? But what you think of his performance, you Funky?
I agree. Even in the knockout, the guy who he's in there with, I can't even remember his name. I never seen him fight before. He was undefeated, yes, but who the hell has he fought?
He's a TMT fighter, G Funky. What's up? Mayweather Gym.
Oh man, don't get me started on that. But yeah, he just didn't have enough in the tool bag to really do anything to surprise Prograis or to make him do anything special, So I mean, Prograis just did what he had to do. I think he realized, once I land something big on this guy, I'm probably going to hurt him. The guy made a huge mistake, a big mistake that you never make in boxing, and that's pull straight back with your hands down. You're opening yourself up for a lot of danger doing that, and he got hit with a left hand and never recovered. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest performance by Prograis. He just didn't look interested. I mean, he missed weight. On top of that, now I know he said the bubble had a role in it. He's got a wife that was in labor and stuff. So I mean, hey, it was not the greatest weekend for him. Although he did have a brand new baby girl. So hey, it works out for him. Congratulations to him. And but I do want to see him in there and with some better comp. Barrios, I don't know. I know they're talking about putting him in there with him.
Well, yes. Well, here's the thing. I mean, look, G-Funky, he has a belt. So that's why I'm saying to give him the belt too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been consistent for years, and I'm not going to give Barrios a pass. You have a belt, bro. You got to defend it. You got to face real competition.
Yes.
So Prograis says he wants a belt. You're pulled with PBC. It's the fight to make, in my opinion. Like, is he going to win? Probably not. But hey, we don't know until they get in there. And to be honest with you, that's the fight they should have done on this pay-per-view. Like,
Yeah.
I think they were both given opponents that they're clearly going to beat and all that. They should have put Prograis, Mario Barrios. That would have been a really good treat before the main event. But it looks like they're going with that. Who wins that fight, in your opinion?
I have to go with Regis Prograis right now. That would have been a good fight on this card. That would have been a really good fight. But I would still favor Prograis. Yeah, not enough. I haven't seen enough from Barrios yet to put all my eggs in the Mario Barrios basket. But I do agree with you, man. You become a champion, fucking training wheels come off, man. The training wheels are off at that point. So yeah, he's got to get in there with some real dudes, man.
I agree. I think they should have kept Mario Barrios away from a title for a few more fights, bro. Because I think he has so much potential. And look, if he loses to Prograis, it's not over. He could go back, and maybe it'll be a good thing for him. Just kind of go back, rebuild, improve, and stuff like that. But man, right? Ron PNC's Rigor said in interviews that he moved back to Texas mid-camp because he was fully focusing. He wasn't not fully focusing when he was living in Louisiana. Okay, you got to earn your stripes. Taco says no, Paul. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. And they're talking about what Canelo gets to do, but not Tank. Like what? Like what are you guys talking about? Let me pause for a moment. Let me pause for a moment. Okay.
I can tell you what they were talking about. I was reading it.
Canelo was around, I think, younger than Tank is right now when he fought Mayweather and when he fought Trout and when he fought Lara. Okay. So I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't even think we should even have that conversation, to be honest with you. But
exactly.
We're gonna say Funky?
No, I was just gonna say what was going on if you hadn't seen it already, but you got it.
Okay, I got you. But hey, I'm just putting that out there. Okay, Chicano Prophet. Everyone takes the time to take on the real fights these days. It's Chicano. And look, at the end of the day, I can't stop. And some people are telling me, no, PBC's gonna like take care of Barrios, and maybe they are. I just don't think they should. I don't think any promotion, by the way, none of them. Like I've been saying for a while now, don't give Virgil the title just yet. Wait like 3-4 more fights. Let him get even better, because once you're the champion, it's the training wheels are off, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's people need to understand that. All right, but that's just my take. Like anyone rushing Virgil right now, nah, he don't got a title. He don't have a title right now. If he had a title, I'd agree, but I can't agree right now. Canelo was 22 when he fought Trout. Well, there you go.
Some guys are just, you can see that they're ready early. Some guys you can't, and the promoters, sometimes they know that there's big money in the future. I mean, look at what Teofimo did. Teofimo Lopez in 16 fights. He beats Richard Comey, knocks him out in 2 rounds, becomes the IBF champion of the world at 135. Yeah. Then he takes on Lomachenko, the guy that has all the rest of the belts in the division. So I mean, it's he didn't shy away from the big fights after he became a champion. But not everyone does that these days. It's not always like that.
Hey, check it out, man. Good weekend for boxing. You could tell because G-Funky. I mean, when you have Magic Johnson, Des Bryant, I'm talking multiple NBA, NFL players, celebrities tweeting about the performance from Tank, saying a star is born. They're talking about it on First Take. I mean, it's kind of everywhere now. You know what I mean? And for those that don't know, okay, for those that do not know, all right, listen to me. Tank Davis, immediately after the fight, beat out Halloween on Halloween. How are you going to just do that to Halloween? You knocked out Leo and you knock out Halloween too. You know what I mean? And you're number one in trending. Okay. Tank is number one in trending on social media. And then Halloween's like came back, they're like, hey, it is Halloween, chill out, boxing, you know what I mean? For a couple hours, Halloween was number one. And then later on in the night, Tank, and I'm guessing this is as the knockout starts going viral and stuff like that, retakes the number one spot again. But not only that, G-Funky, whether we like it or not, Floyd Mayweather was in the top 5 in trending. Okay.
Probably because of that terrible outfit he had on.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't like how he was kind of like he went to the corner to say something to Tank. Like, look, go sit your ass down, dude. He's got his corner. I feel like Floyd's trying to take some credit for the win. Like, I told him what to do. Dude, sit your ass down. Okay. And then, and yeah, like I think he tried to put himself in the spotlight a little too much. But so he was there, top 5 trending. So Mayweather was top 5, and Floyd was like top 15. You know what I mean? Like the word Floyd. Inoue was top 10 in trending, which is really good, by the way.
Boxing
Remember, the Charlos were like 8. Okay, that night. Inoue was around there. Okay. And then other fight, I think Ryan Garcia was in the top 10 trending because of his tweet. Okay, that's a boxer. Boxing was in the top 25, the word boxing. So a lot of boxing was there. UFC was like 13 or some shit. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, got your ass whooped again. Okay, when we get the stars out, you get your ass whooped. You take a back seat, is what you do. Okay, now, so with all that, Chief Funky, what's your what do you make of that? Because boxing was trending high in Halloween.
I love it, man. I love anything that's good for the sport, man. Anything that puts boxing out there to where people can see it. Most people that normally don't, that's always great, And I'm one of those guys. I'm always pushing for that. I did buy the pay-per-view. I didn't stream it. So a lot of you guys out there need to take notes. All right. If you want boxing to do good things, support the damn sport. Okay. I know. I mean, and I agree with most people that said that this was not a pay-per-view matchup. Yes, I agree. It should not have been on pay-per-view, but guess what? I watched it anyway. I bought it anyway because that's what I do. I'm a real hardcore fan, Right. But that's a great thing, man. That's a great thing for boxing. It doesn't surprise me that Tank was trending so much because, people love knockouts, man. It's one of those knockouts that people were going to want to see over and over again. So people love knockouts, man. And if he continues to do that, then he'll continue to draw more people to the sport. Now, I seen Magic Johnson say, I think I seen the best fighter pound for pound. I mean, that's casual talk, but hey, it's good talk because at least someone like Magic Johnson, who has millions of followers on Twitter and on social media, he's getting people to pay attention to the sport of boxing. So that's great, man.
Yeah, man. I don't have an issue with him having an opinion at all, but do I agree with that statement? No, but he's still talking about it. You know what I mean? And Tank Davis has a chance to prove he's number one pound for pound. He goes in there, beats a Teofimo Lopez, something like that. He's in the discussion. You know what I mean? For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll say this. You're not going to put Tank number one pound for pound. If Theo's not number one after he beat Loma, all right, then we could put Tank in the top 5 too. How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's all I'll say about it. That's my opinion. Everyone's going to have a different opinion about it. And that's what makes boxing fun, different opinions. You know what I mean? Something Rhodes. What's that basketball dude?
Oh, Jalen Rose?
Yes. Do you know what he said?
No, I did not see what he said. What did he say?
You said Tank looked amazing. Oh man, I really want to. I think what they should do is put him in there with Canelo. That would be a mega fight. And this ain't the first time he's done this, bro. This ain't the first time he's done it. Like this dude doesn't really understand. Like this is a guy that will watch Inoue fight and say, "Man, we got to put him in there like with like Andy Ruiz or some shit." I don't know. Like I don't know if he understands there's weight classes in boxing. Like I think he knows, but I mean, I appreciate you watching boxing. I appreciate you being happy about it, but you can't say shit like that, okay?
Jalen, I'm gonna say something, man.
And he was serious, bro. Not to cut you off, but I'm gonna let you cook. But he was like excited about it, like, "Oh, that's a fight to me. I'd order that fight, man. That would be a big fight for boxing." Like he was real serious, you punk.
Jalen, let me tell you something, bro. I watched your entire career. I remember you at Michigan with the Fab Five. I remember your days in Indiana when you were, really, really good. And I want to say this, man. If you come across this, okay, please subscribe to D-Style Boxing. Subscribe to G Funky. Watch HCP. We will help you. We will educate you on the sport, okay? We will help you understand that fight is impossible to make, okay? Impossible. I mean, Tank would get destroyed. He's too small, man. He's too small, okay? That's exactly why D-Style just said it. There's weight divisions in the sport for a reason, okay? That's not a good fight. That's not it's nothing. It's nothing, like it would not sell. People will not buy that because people would already know that it's not a fair matchup. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just no.
Hey, but I mean, it's not even like it would be bad if like Canelo was at welterweight still. That would still be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo just fought at 175
pounds.
like I'm just like, dude, like what are you? It's not that far off. I mean, obviously, he could totally just like, you know what I mean? He could totally just like not follow it like that. Maybe he just turns on his TV when it's ding ding. And there's a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? But even then, you could tell. No, like can't you tell? Like these are smaller guys. No, is it just me or like what's going on over here?
Wow, I'm really just like wow at that one, man.
Hey, gee, fucking man, I really need to see Inoue. I mean, I really need to see him go in there against Caleb Plant, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's a real fight right there. Can he deal with the movement of Caleb Plant? That's what I need to know about Inoue. Like, that's how it sounds.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
Chocolatito wants to prove himself. He needs to get in there with Errol Spence, bro.
Yeah, I know. Jalen, just please subscribe to us, man. We'll help you along the way, okay? And then in no time, hey, you'll be talking like a real hardcore fan. Trust me, all right? HCP, home of real boxing talk.
I think Julio Cesar Martinez against Jamal Charlo is a fight to make. You know what I mean? I think that's a fight to make, Chief Funky. Can Jamal deal with the pressure of Julio Cesar Martinez?
I don't think so, man.
Who would watch that? If that fight got signed, I would make a video ranting so hard. What do you mean he's gonna be fighting Charlo? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's. Was it on
like
Twitter?
To give him, but like how doesn't he have an earpiece? Somebody tell him, hey, it's not the same division. Like they're like too far apart.
He said it on national TV.
Yes. This was on ESPN, bro. What do you mean? Yes.
This is why This is why I stopped watching ESPN, man. I mean, these kind of takes. I mean, wow. Somebody had that. Nobody corrected him. Nobody said, "Hey, look, Canelo's like 45 pounds heavier than this dude." Like, wow.
Like, just give me a call, Fox Sports. I'll come on and give you guys some insight. You know what I mean? I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free.
Now I got to look for that clip, man. I got to look for it now.
Dude, this is like, look, I know that when we watch Stephen A. Smith talk boxing, he sounds like a casual, right?
Oh yeah.
But he's like one of the tops. Like when it comes to boxing, bro, like he's a genius compared to this dude. No, he is. Like he's like
Yeah.
compared to him, like shit.
And you know what's crazy about Jalen Rose is like I've seen him at a lot of fights. Like when they pan through the crowd and look for the celebrities before the main event, like I've seen him at a lot of big fights. Like wow. Like wow.
Jalen Rose, next time, like if you have a fight in mind, ask before you go live. Because somebody
Yeah.
would have told you, nah, dude, like Canelo's too big. Like that's like saying Chavez versus Tyson. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not like that's what I told my dad when I was like fucking 6 years old, bro. You know what I mean? And he's like, nah, son, like, nah, Tyson's too big for Chavez. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, this is an athlete. You would think he would be able to kind of decipher, yeah, that dude's too small. You know what I mean? That's what I think, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Usyk, is he gonna like? First of all, what you think of his performance? You funky? What do you think about Usyk against, and what you think of the fight against Chisora?
War Chisora. It kind of went the way that I expected it to go. Chisora always likes to come out and jump on his guys right away. Usyk, no exception. Came out, jumped on him right away, put a lot of pressure. Wasn't the most technical and efficient pressure, but he did come out and try to land big shots on him, which is what you want to do. I personally think this. I think he spent too much time trying to run after him instead of trying to trap him. Like there's a difference, following a guy and trapping a guy. Like they should have known Usyk was going to be on the move. He wasn't going to just stand right in front of him. He should have been trying to cut off the ring, trying to trap him. I mean, pick your spots, man, when you want to rush in like that. Don't just rush in the full 3 minutes of the first 5-6 rounds, and then you look exhausted for the rest of the fight, mouth wide open. I mean, you can't even keep your hands up. I think that was just a bad game plan. They should have picked their spots better, and he should have worked on cutting off the ring better. He was just following Usyk around a lot of the time. Now, Usyk, I have to say, I knew he was gonna pick it up if Chisora wasn't able to catch him with something big and hurt him. I knew he was going to be able to start boxing, start pot shotting from the outside, and that's exactly what happened. I don't think he ever really had Chisora hurt. I just think Chisora was exhausted in the last part of that fight. Was he getting blasted with clean shots and his head snapping back? Yes, but I don't think he was ever getting ready to be knocked out or even knocked down. I just think he was just exhausted at that point. Couldn't keep his hands up. The reflexes were gone. Whatever reflexes he had to try to get out of the way of punches. And I kind of knew this was what was going to happen if Usyk was to be able to survive those early pushes from Chisora. As far as his future goes, I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. I just don't know. The better he steps, the more he steps up in the rankings, and he gets in there with some of the best heavyweights. They're not just going to follow you around the ring like Chisora, and they're not going to gas out like Chisora. So he's going to be running some damn marathons here at heavyweight, running marathons from these guys. Because to me, he still doesn't have legit heavyweight power, man. I mean, it's going to be tough for Usyk, I think, man, tough. I don't even know. I think he's just under 220 pounds as a heavyweight. And he already looked a little bit slower to me. He still looked sharp with his punches, but they don't look as quick as they were at cruiserweight. So I don't even think gaining more weight to gain more strength to get power in those shots would even help him, you know? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to win a belt unless, I don't know, honestly, I just don't know, man, at this point.
Okay, I got you. You don't know. Okay.
Performance did nothing for me.
here's the thing, man. First, I thought it was a good fight, entertaining fight. It woke me up from the slumber from the fight before that, which is atrocious. Okay, that's number one. But as far as and I gotta really put this out there. Usyk to me was clearly the superior boxer of the two. But man, was he waiting to really pull the trigger on that left hand? Okay, his straight left. He was waiting to pull the trigger on it until Chisora, like you said, started getting tired, and then he got more brave. What's going to happen when the guy you're fighting isn't tired? What's going to happen then? You know what I mean? Now, what I will say is Chisora is one of the best at fighting on the inside at heavyweight, right? A lot of these heavyweights can't fight on the inside worth a lick, right? Now, granted, what they're going to do is hold Usyk when he gets on the inside, right? So I just want to put that out there, but I agree, man. If he can't, it looks like he can't punch himself out of a paper bag in this division, and we've seen him twice now. That's how it looks like, So I think he's going to have a hard time, man. Right now, as it stands, I would favor Anthony Joshua to beat him in a fight. Okay. Because what's going to happen, G-Funky, when Anthony Joshua lands flush on him?
And he will.
And he will, and I just don't I don't know I don't think Usyk can hurt Joshua.
Nope.
I don't think you could hurt him. So I think you need some dynamite in your fist, okay, to hurt a guy. And not like, let's say, dare I say, David Haye, when he moved up from cruiserweight, he had the haymaker. You know what I mean? Like, he heard Ruiz, he heard Valuev, and you knew, okay, that dude, he has a shot. He has a shot because he's got that big punch, right? Another guy that weighs in under the 224 kind of most of the time, Deontay Wilder. But what does he have? That equalizer, the eraser. You know what I mean? Usyk is a smaller guy, and he doesn't have that, G-Funky. Okay? Could he knock me out? Sure. Okay? I'm not saying the dude can't punch. Okay? He could probably knock me and G-Funky out the same night. Okay? I get it. However, when he's fighting these giants, he's going to have, and I always say this, man, margin of error. He has a real small margin of error, and his opponents are going to have a big margin of error to work with. Okay? He's going to have to be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfect in boxing. So could he land something in the sweet spot and hurt an opponent and take him out of there? That's the only way I see him stopping anybody, G-Funky. Accumulation, putting punches together, hoping to wobble them, and then just getting them against the ropes and just putting punches together, having the ref jump in. I don't see him hitting any one quitter hitter. I don't see him knocking anybody down with one clean punch or anything like that. Not some of these big dudes. So I would say that he can if he fights the regular WBA champ. You know what I'm talking about?
The man who has the belt.
Emmanuel Shar, bro. Like, what's up? If I'm Usyk, I fight Emmanuel Shar, man. I'm not even joking.
Yep. Then all roads lead through Usyk.
And then you become a regular champion and hopefully could grow a little bit more into the division, maybe get a little more power, because I think he's missing just a little more power, G-Funk. That's how I feel about it. He just needs a little more thump in his punch. But then it's risky because it wouldn't help him to lose speed, like, at all. Like, you know what I mean? So, hey, man. But here's what I will say, G-Funky. I appreciate and I tip my hat to him for daring to be great. You know what I mean? And getting in there with these guys and wanting to become a world champion. That I will say. He's earned the right to prove me wrong, but I just don't think he can do it.
Yeah, right there with you, man. It's just not enough power. And you said he can't punch his way out of a paper bag. That paper bag is probably wet, too, at this division. Like that. I mean, yeah, he couldn't even, like I said, I think he was still a little bit afraid to let his hands go like he normally would when this guy was exhausted. Because he was still afraid of what might come back and what might hit him. So it's going to be tough for him, man, at heavyweight.
Yeah, and Chicano just said what I was about to mention. He might settle into that division, the new 224-pound division. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. Fuck that shit. Just go for it. He's got nothing to lose, bro. Like, just go fight Joshua. Fight him. like if you lose, you could always win that 224-pound belt. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just go for it. Like dare to be great. Go for this shit. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Just fuck it. Go for it. So
Yeah.
go
Why
prove
not?
me wrong, Usyk. Go prove
Why?
us wrong.
Why not? I say.
Speaking of Munguia, hey G Funky, what you think of Jaime Munguia's performance, bro?
Oh man, Munguia. Here's what I'm gonna say. Did he improve on some of the things that I wanted to see him improve on from this last fight to this fight? No.
No, okay, all right.
Not even close. I know that this kid can throw punches. His power's been pretty good at 160. What I really wanted to see him improve on was his defense, man. And using a better jab. And the jab was non-existent Friday night. The defense was non-existent Friday night. I mean, he was allowing this guy Toriano Johnson to literally just walk right in, and it wasn't like Johnson was coming in behind a jab. Just a high guard, walk right in, get right in Munguia's grill, and just letting off shots. Now he's able to take those punches and in return fire back, and obviously we see what he did here with that lip. That is just awful. I mean, terrible cut from a nice uppercut from Munguia. Munguia, his punches, they might have gotten a little tiny bit sharper since he's been training with El Libre. But I think that the lack of a jab really made this fight more competitive than it should have been, in my opinion. I mean, if you got a guy coming straight in just with his hands up and then he gets inside and he just starts ripping shots on you, like, you could stop him from coming in that way if you just hit him with a jab while he's walking straight in without a jab of his own. You could just stick it out there. You don't even have to hit him hard every time. Just stick it out there and then bam, drop a right hand on him while he's coming in. Make him think about something before he just walks straight in. Make him pay for just walking straight in without putting his hands up. No head movement at all from Munguia. Just terrible defense, man. I really need to see him improve on that if he's going to step up to the next level in the division. Did he show a great chin? I mean, yeah, he showed a great chin because he got hit with some big shots, but I don't really know if this guy's got that kind of power to really hurt him. Some things that I wanted to see him improve on, I didn't see it. But you see the damage he did with that uppercut. I mean, wow, that is one of the worst cuts I've ever seen in boxing. But that's pretty much all I got to say about Munguia. That defense and the jab has to improve if he's going to step up. He called out Charlo, he called out Triple G before this fight. Those things have to happen if he wants to have a chance to beat either one of those guys. You're on mute.
My bad. I agree for the most part. You know what I mean? But here's what I'll say, man. That uppercut was something. You know what I mean? Like, it was. And oh boy, I mean, that cut. I never seen a cut like that from an uppercut, bro. I remember when I saw it, I could have, even though I didn't see the headbutt, I could have sworn it was headbutt. You know what I mean? Because that had to be from headbutt. And it wasn't. And by the way, what a terrible decision by the ref and the doctor to allow him to go back out there for the last 30 seconds.
Terrible.
Okay. That's horrific. He can't see himself. Sometimes I wish they had like a mirror. You know what I mean? I feel fine. You still feel fine. You know what I mean? If he punches you there again, it should go all the way up to your nose, bro. It could be really bad. You know what I mean? So, or what if it goes past the nose this way? I mean, it could be a terrible cut, bro. Right? Just go ahead and stop the damn fight. This is one of the worst cuts I've ever seen, bro. Okay? That was something. I don't know just because you're a great fighter, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a great trainer. So I don't want to judge Morales off of this. I mean, sometimes guys are who they are. I do feel his punches are a little more crisp and stuff like that. But I got to be honest with you, Funky, and I think everyone just has to come to this realization. Munguia is who he is. And I'm not saying he can't improve, but he is who he is. He's never gonna be this guy, defensive wizard. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
And I'm not saying you're saying that, but I keep hearing that. Oh, he gets hit too much. He needs to work on never getting hit. Like, well, that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? I think they need to find a better way of making his offense a little more of his defense too. You know what I mean? Like one thing I would like to see Munguia do personally, I would work on him throwing combinations, ending the combination with the jab, and then stepping out of the way. That way, the fire, there's no rapid fire coming back to you. That's what I would like to see. You know what I mean? Morales would do that. I'm kind of surprised I'm not seeing that implemented here. Not to say they're not working on that, but I would like to see that. Okay, work that machine, the máquina, to where instead of getting hit 30% of the time or 40% of the time, lower it about 5 to 10% of the time. I think they could work on that. And it's going to work with the how he approaches the fight. Okay, I think he could do a better job. Rolling with shots, in my opinion. Okay, and then countering off of that, make guys think twice, lower their output. Like there's things you can do. Okay, not to be an analytical guy, but that's how I'm wired. I'm an analytical guy. Okay, but like if you lower someone's output, that's less punches coming to you, therefore less damage your way. You know what I mean? So I that's what I want to see from Munguia, man. Throw combinations and start them and end them, and I think he's gonna go a long way with that. Okay. Is there any one thing that you believe that they can implement on Munguia to improve him as a fighter?
Anyone?
Yeah, just one. Yeah. Well, we're not. I mean, I know it could be all night, but if there's that one thing that's obvious, that you know what, if they just did this one thing, like he would immediately become a better fighter. What do you think that is?
I can name one thing on both offense and defense. Offense, jab. Use it. If I could quote Floyd Sr., use your fucking jab. Okay. This fight would have been a lot easier on him if he just used the jab. I mean, like I said in my breakdown, Toriano Johnson literally just walking straight in with his hands up, nothing coming back. Munguia just like, okay, come right on in. Get as close as you want. Like, I mean, a jab would have just, I mean, it would have changed things dramatically in that fight,
Right.
I think.
It's like
Defensively,
this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say defensively, just some head movement. That's it. I mean, I didn't see any head movement from this guy at all. I mean, just basic head movement. Again, side to side, going underneath shots. If you want to fight on the inside, hey, hands up, move your head, go underneath. Like just I didn't see none of that. Just basic head and upper body movement. Those are the two things, man.
Look, and back to the jab. I mean, it's simple math. Okay. If you land a jab on a guy that's going to come in on you anyway, let's say if they say, well, Johnson's going to get inside anyway, whether I throw the jab or not, right? If he comes in 20 times, right? Well, if you throw the jab, you might not land it every time, but let's say you landed half of the time. That's 10 jabs you landed on his face that you wouldn't have landed otherwise, okay? So it's just a matter of getting that habit, throwing a jab. The jab is the hardest punch to counter. Okay, it takes very special fighters to slip jabs and counter and stuff like that. Utilize the stick. It makes your other opponent work too. Okay, you know what I mean. It's harder to get inside and all that good stuff. So, and not only that, you funky, you throw a jab, you snap the head back. Guess what? You can land other punches. You know what I mean?
Hand, yeah,
exactly. It'll open stuff up for you. It'll come. So that's just my opinion on that. But hey, man. Shout out to Munguia. He's doing his thing, but
I have to say, everyone with the cut before we go on to the next topic, the only thing that I can ever remember looking something like this around that area would be when Corrales fought Casamayor the first time, and he hit him in the mouth, and the mouthpiece split open, and then it pierced him right around here, pierced right through his, right above his lip, and that thing was bleeding like crazy. That's the only thing that I could see that was even close to what we saw from Toriano Johnson Friday night.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean that was bad, by the way. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Chavez had a really ugly cut in the second De La Hoya fight too.
Yeah, in the lip. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So that's that. All right, man. Munguia, here's all I'm gonna say, guys, before we move on. Hey, he's gonna give us a lot of fight of the year candidates in the coming years. That I will say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be in a lot of wars. I don't think it's gonna be in the sport as long as some other guys. So I'm giving him like a good 4 or 5 year window of being in there at the top, and that's about it. So enjoy him while he's here and appreciate him for what he is, even if he doesn't improve, because he's an action fighter. Okay, and he's gonna bring a lot to the sport in terms of that. Okay, hey, G Funky, I'm excited, bro. Let me tell you something. You think I was excited for Teofimo Lopez against Lomachenko? You think I was excited for that? Let me tell you something. Okay. Olympic gold medalist Gamboa, bro, going in there against Devin Haney. That's what I'm talking about. My heart's pumping right now. You know what I mean? I'm excited for this fight. I'm pumped up. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Are you excited?
Look at my face.
Look, man. Yeah.
There it is. Dumpster juice of the week. And I got a few. There's a few that I've got this week. But Haney versus Gamboa, definitely dumpster juice of the week. This is a horrible fight. Gamboa is shot. He's been shot for a little bit. He has no fucking chance to win this fight. I mean, he would have to get extremely lucky to do something here to Devin Haney. Just a terrible fight, man. This does nothing for Haney. This literally does nothing for Haney beating Gamboa.
Keeps him active, right? But that's not it.
That's it. You know, it does nothing for his position at 135. It does nothing for his name at 135. I mean, it's a really bad matchup, man. It's dumpster juice of the week, man. So let me know why you're excited, bro.
Hey, shout out to Canelo Chicano. Shout out to Chicano Prophet, bro. He's right. A lot of you guys out there pick Johnson to win, especially in the Leave It in the Ring panel. Some people picked him to win. Okay. And Munguia beat the guy you picked to win. Okay. I'm just putting that out there, right? Which is true. Okay. I was just saying that because I was mad that Canelo beat Kovalev. Says Taco. Why would you be mad, bro? It's not that serious. Hey, Rod on here. Shout out to you, man. How is it going? It's just a showcase fight to Figueroa. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I'm not. I mean, you're not lying. Okay,
Still dumpster juice.
You know, I'm not that excited about the fight. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? But I will say this, you funky. Haney not only needs to win, he needs to win big. Especially after Tank knocks out Leo Santa Cruz and Teofimo Lopez beats Lomachenko. A lot of guys that were saying, "Oh, I haven't seen anything from Theo to suggest that he could, you know, that he's a good fighter," right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what have you seen from Haney? Who's he fought to for you to just know that, right?
Nobody, and still fighting nobody.
Is there some pressure here? Like, I mean, let's be honest. If he wins his 8 rounds to 4, like that's not a good look. You know what I mean? If he wins like a 7-5 decision, that's problematic to me. Like, or if like let's say Gamboa is like outboxing him for 4 or 5 rounds and then Haney knocks him out, that's still not a good look. Haney needs to have a spectacular performance here against a Gamboa coming off a loss, and a Gamboa that we know had an issue with his Achilles and that we know just hasn't been the same for years. Go ahead, Chief Funky.
I agree. All that stuff is not a good look for Haney. I mean, if it just goes 12, I don't care if Haney wins all 12 rounds. That's still not a good look. He has got to get Gamboa out of there and get him out of there quickly. Because the thing is this, Gamboa, again, I've mentioned it already. Going into this fight, guys, remember this. Going into this fight Saturday, Gamboa would have already been down 17 times in his career and knocked out before. This guy is very chinny, okay? He's very small for this division. He actually doesn't even belong in this division, for one, but he's fighting there. Haney just, I mean, this is awful, man. This is an awful fight. Man, even if he knocks him out quickly, I still don't change my position on Haney. I need to see him in there with somebody before I could just jump on the bandwagon. And you made a good point. A lot of guys were out here talking about how Teofimo, we don't know if he's going to be able to do this to Lomachenko or beat Lomachenko because he hadn't fought nobody, but he had fought people, all right? He knocked out Richard Comey, a real champion, okay? So, I mean, that's ridiculous. Haney hasn't been in there with anybody for me to say that he's legit and ready to go. Does he look good? Does his skills and all that stuff look good? Yes, but has it been displayed against real competition? No, not even close. And this is not even close. This is, I don't know. This is terrible, man. Dumpster juice.
Now, what they need the November 7th date, and that's the fight we're getting. But Gamboa, bro, Cuba. You know what I mean? Well, what if Gamboa wins?
Oh my God, that would turn the boxing world upside down if Gamboa
what if
wins.
Gamboa, what if this is the beginning, like the greatest comeback known to man?
This will be the start to that story, no doubt about it. If he beats Devin Haney, the guy who people have been saying is the greatest thing since sliced bread in the lightweight division, that will be the beginning chapter to the story of the greatest comeback ever.
They don't have to make a movie about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I would be shocked. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'll be shocked as fuck if Gamboa wins this fight. Well, shout out to New York Mexican NYY Mex. He says Gamboa has been done since the Crawford beat him. That avatar looks kind of cool with that, with the blue right there. World Combat Sports says Haney earns nothing from fighting Gamboa this weekend. Absolutely nothing. Taco says, I got Haney number 1 pound for pound and Crawford number 2. I test, man, says Taco. Look, man, there's a thing called the halo effect, okay? You're going to look better, okay, against lesser opposition, right? It's just the way things work. This is a tough fight. I don't even know what to say. Okay, he should get Gamboa out of there, and he should dominate him for sure. Okay, that's just my opinion. So, and for anybody says otherwise, look, I expected Tank Davis to destroy Gamboa. All right. Now, Tank Davis did not look in good shape in that fight. I don't care what anybody says. He was in great shape for the Leo fight, not this fight, and he had a one-legged man in front of him. I don't know how the injury is going to play for Gamboa. But here's what I will say. Gamboa has to be thinking to himself right now, G-Funky, like, I got nothing to lose, and I want to upset the apple cart here. Like, he's got to be thinking that to himself here. Like, this is my last chance, and we've seen it sometimes. I don't think it's going to be an issue here at all, but sometimes, the guy with nothing to lose is the most dangerous guy, but.
Yeah, that's true. And I want to respond to Emmanuel Figueroa in the comment section. He says it's crazy that Ryan Garcia is going to fight a real credible opponent before Haney. I mean, it seems like all the young guys are stepping up except for him.
Now, and not to play devil's advocate, but he was supposed to fight Haney and he chose not to. You know what I mean? So, as far as that, they instead decided to have him fight Lomachenko. You know what I mean? So it's not 100. In fairness, it's not 100% Haney's fault. However, assessing this fight, it's just not a good fight. All right, it's a stay busy fight. I get that, but given the fact there is such a favorite, you should destroy Gamboa. It should not even be close. It should be a complete destruction. All right, that's my opinion on that. Right. Devin Haney, also, which I want to add to what I just said, he is the one that decided to sign with the Zone. He is the one that, chose money early, you know what I mean, and signed with the Zone. So it is going to be difficult to make a lot of these fights. You do have to point at his promoter, okay, for working with Top Rank to do the Lomachenko fight instead of fighting Devin Haney, okay? He chose to sign with that promoter. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. Just like people say, Crawford made the wrong decision to sign with Top Rank again, and it's his fault because all the smoke is at PBC. The same applies to Haney.
Same applies here.
Same applies here. Consistency. Okay, we're going to keep it consistent, right, and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm just saying that he put himself in this position, right? So we're going to see how it plays out. Destroy Gamboa, and then we'll see if we can make a big fight and stuff like that. Okay. With that said, Chief Funk, you have anything else to add about this fight?
Nope. Well, actually, no, I do. I want to say this. He should destroy Gamboa, and Gamboa, it's such a mismatch that Gamboa should have 0 moments in this fight. There shouldn't be Gamboa should have no moments whatsoever in this fight. If Haney's the guy that a lot of people have been saying that he is, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Zero moments for Gamboa in this fight.
Just to address Gamboa, no Paul saying I thought Haney was his own promoter. Look, a lot of fighters are their quote unquote own promoter. Okay, when Wiki Wright fought, like he would have Wright Promotions. When Canelo fights, it's the Canelo banner, Canelo Promotions, stuff like that. But there's always that main guy, right, within, that makes the fight. So he does work in association with Matchroom Boxing. Okay, he did sign with the Zone for sure, but I'm not sure if it's a direct contract with the Zone or if it's through Eddie Hearn. Kind of like the Canelo one is through De La Hoya. You know what I mean? But that's a good take. That I could always look into. But nonetheless, he's still with the Zone. Like, he still has a contract with the Zone. Like it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of fighters have a promoter license. No, Paul. A lot of them. You know what I mean? And they still work under the big banners and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And one of the reasons is I do believe to get a bigger piece of the pot. So, and taxes and stuff like that. But that's not here nor there. Look, Luis Ortiz is back. King Kong Ortiz. I do expect him to blast out his opponent, Chief Funky, but I'm glad he's back. If he comes out and does what I believe he's going to do, win by knockout. What do you want to see next from King Kong Ortiz?
I think a fight with him and Andy Ruiz is a great fight. I think it's an entertaining fight, depending on the way King Kong looks here. But I do expect him to blast this guy out too. So we'll see how he looks. I am excited though, because heavyweight fights are always exciting, so that kind of saved the weekend for me, even though this is a showcase fight as well. But heavyweight fights, they're always more exciting than the guys in the lower weight classes. So yeah, I want to see him win, and I would like to see him in there against Andy Ruiz. I think that's a realistic fight to make. Both guys are PBC guys, so shouldn't be no reason to not make it. And we'll find out if Luis Ortiz is still got a little bit left in his gas tank. He's getting up there in age, been knocked out a couple times, so we'll see how he looks here. But I do expect him to look good.
If I just want to get clarification, did you say that the heavyweight division is more exciting than the lower weight classes?
The fights are, yeah.
You sure about that?
In my opinion, yeah, because I mean, we know heavyweight boxing, man. Guys can land something big, and they can change the fight, man. I mean, look at Andy Ruiz. He was a big underdog against Joshua. He goes in there and shocks the world. I mean, that type of stuff happens there in the heavyweight division, man.
I just don't agree with that at all. I don't think the lower weight, like some of the best fights of all time, in my opinion. Like if we were to do a top 20 list, like you wouldn't have the majority heavyweight fights, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But let's talk about it just really quick. Last topic, really quick. So I don't know, like kids like this, right? When it comes to heavyweights, like some of the boringest fights I've ever seen were heavyweight fights. You know what I mean? Now, some very exciting ones have been heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like Ruiz Joshua was a very exciting fight. I'm not going to disagree with that. But like, do you really think like heavyweight could give us a fight like Barrera versus Morales? I don't. Like an action fight like that with that fast pace with over 1,000 punches thrown?
No. Well, I mean, we've seen that before with heavyweights. Like I believe the Thrilla in Manila was a fight where both guys threw over 1,000 punches. I mean, of course, that was a 15-round fight, But I mean, it
Same.
can happen. It can happen. You know, the heavyweights. It just depends on the matchup. You know, and the guys.
To me, man, my favorite weight class is like the weight class between like welterweight and middleweight are my favorite weight classes. Like because there's the action, fast pace, and the knockouts. I think you get everything. That's my opinion, but hey, I mean, right. What you're right about heavyweight is that you're kind of at the edge of your seat a little more because any moment something could happen. I get that, but like the overall experience, bro, I think the lower weight classes, for the most part, give us better fights. That's my opinion, but hey,
yeah,
and
I don't think. I mean, I didn't say that it was my favorite division. I like all of them. You know, I just think that something about the heavyweights, like you said, it brings that different feeling. And I know a lot of people, a lot of the casual fans that I know, they're like, well, I only watch the heavyweights because they're more exciting. Now I disagree that they're more exciting than the other guys, but I do think that they give you a little more surprises, you know, which is always good in boxing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, you guys are tuning into Hispanics Cause and Panic. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you jab the like button a little earlier today. So we'll be back on the regular time next week. We'll be on tomorrow for Uncensored at Chief Funky's channel. So make sure you tune in for that as well. World Combat Sports, thank you very much for tuning in, and everybody for tuning in. This is a D-Style Boxing. I appreciate it. And G Funky, who's down with HCP?
You know everybody.
Everybody.
We come out chased by hounds. Round and round we go, wearing a pinche rabbit's foot for luck, just ahead of the fucking hounds. ¿Qué hubo? ¡Ah! ¡Qué vida es! ¡Qué loca vida, home!
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas. No hay que... Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I invite him into the ring, and like we say in Mexico, we don't fuck around. We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
What's your prediction for the fight, then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas.